O'clock, we'll go ahead and start the meeting. First item is our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Vice Chair, could you please read our mission statement?
The mission of Marshall Public Schools is to educate, support, and prepare all learners for success.
Thank you. Approval of the agenda. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
I'll second.
Any additions? Hearing none, please vote. It is approved. Public forum. Is there anybody in the public that would like to approach the board? Now is your time. Moving on to our early childhood and voluntary preschool program. What an exciting program. Welcome.
Thank you. I am really excited to visit with you today about voluntary pre-K, and if you have any questions throughout the presentation, just let me know. We'll get started with a little bit of background on how voluntary pre-K came about. In 2016, Governor Dayton had created the purpose of a new program for free preschool programming for 4-year-old students to help prepare them for entrance to kindergarten. And programs must meet high-quality early learning program standards by having licensed teachers, coordinating transition to kindergarten, and involving parents. The funding allows school districts to incorporate a voluntary pre-K program into their E12 program. And essentially what that means is voluntary pre-K is a new grade level, just like kindergarten and first grade. It has the same set of expectations as all of our other grades as well. So there should be a program comparison sheet that looks similar to this that Tricia was able to hand out. And I just kind of wanted to share with you about the different types of programs. Prior to Marshall Public School receiving the voluntary pre-K funding, and we also our School Readiness Plus program for 10 students, we were under the umbrella of School Readiness. So all of our 3-year-old and 4-year-old preschool, even though it was called Little Cubs Preschool, was School Readiness. So as you look at that category and the pages that explain all of the different elements, you can kind of see what the School Readiness program has kind of formed into because of voluntary pre-K and School Readiness Plus. So right now, our current 3-year-olds fall under our School Readiness program, and then our 4-year-olds, 10 of them fall under the School Readiness Plus, and the rest of our students fall under our voluntary pre-K program. And as you flip through the multiple pages of requirements, what we do is just make sure that we hit all of the requirements to receive the funding for voluntary pre-K. And I've just completed our application for this upcoming school year for voluntary pre-K. And they have taken School Readiness Plus kind of off of the application. So all of the program spots that we're applying for next year are just voluntary pre-K. We're still looking at seeing the same amount of students, though, through voluntary pre-K, so we aren't losing 10 spots. So just looking at eligibility, that handout definitely goes over details of how we look at qualifying for our program. But it is an extensive application that many districts apply for each year. And for the first year, we were not chosen as a site. But for the 17-18 school year, we were chosen as a voluntary pre-K site. And we were notified in August of that year for the funding. And it was a very short time frame, and we made some miracles happen that school year with creating new classroom spaces out of a computer lab, which is down in our area, along with hiring new staff. working with Southwest coaches on figuring out transportation, working with the Taher food program on how do we get free breakfast figured out for these students that we didn't have that as an eligible option in the past. So now with this year, our 18-19 school year, we feel like sigh of relief because we've worked out all those kinks, and we have just amazing staff and the support of families and the excitement of students to fulfill all of our spots that we have. 128 school districts are funded currently in Minnesota. So again, there are many sites and school districts that would like to be funded that there's not enough current funding for. And any student is eligible as long as they're 4 years old by September 1st of that year. And they have to participate free of charge. No tuition can be charged, along with free transportation within the city limits as well. And if they come full days, we have to offer free breakfast. Now, children that are enrolled as an early childhood special ed student, they can take part in the same classrooms with all of the VPK students, but our funding has to be used solely just for our general ed students, because special education, we receive other funding for that. Another requirement that is listed is that every child must go through an early childhood screening within their first 90 days of enrollment. What's been great is that we serve most of our students in early childhood screening at 3 years of age, so we have that comprehensive screening done prior to enrollment. Now, opportunities. Voluntary pre-K has given us many opportunities in early childhood that has benefited many students and families. Over $311,000 was additional funding for our school district, which I think is fantastic to make this great work happen. Not only that, but we were invited to go and meet the governor before we were given the funding. What an opportunity. And then to have Education Commissioner Casilius come and visit this year in support of the programming and the hard work that is taking place here in our district. And the biggest benefit of all is we're just removing barriers. And we're letting every child have that same opportunity no matter what their income is. And I think that is priceless. A few other items to share is we truly have doubled our classroom space from a few years ago. We've gone from 3 classrooms to 6, and we've increased staff to accommodate all of our classrooms and students. We have a new assessment tool that's called work sampling. We had to have a state-approved assessment tool that can collect data in a different way than our teacher-created assessment tool has done in the past. And then that also gives the state that opportunity to check on us. How are we doing? Are we preparing kids for kindergarten? And using that data also to share with the state that increasing this opportunity for young kids will in turn prepare them for kindergarten.
Question on the assessment.
Yes.
Work sampling system, is that required of all who are offering the program, so it's norm referenced?
There are 3 tools that we could choose from the state of Minnesota. So there is the TS Gold, which many Head Start programs are using throughout the state, and then there's what's called the DRDP, and then work sampling. So what they've been able to do is pick those 3 essential pieces and have a way at the state to kind of form them into being able to have the same common data, but we have not seen the report from last year yet on where we shake out and all of that.
Comparatively with others who use work sampling.
Right. I'm looking forward to it, though.
You'll do well.
I hope so. Another piece to add is, again, the free breakfast and free transportation, removing barriers. We want our kids to get to school. If they're here, we can build good relationships with students, give them an environment where they're safe and where they're comfortable, and to really prepare them each day for learning. Along with that is we've increased the length of programming in every program that we were able to offer prior to VPK to now. And the more time that we can spend with our students, the more opportunities we have to help educate them. A high-quality early learning program, Again, just reduces that educational achievement gap, and it prepares children for kindergarten. And for 4-year-olds, we currently have 97 children enrolled.
That's by parental choice?
Of course, yes.
Are we turning anybody away?
We
4-year-olds?
have 3 children on a wait list. But I have to share, prior to voluntary pre-K, our wait list was about 40 kids.
I understand that. So
Yes,
we still have a waiting list.
of 3 kids, yes.
Why do we have a waiting list of 3?
We need more facility space. With more facility space, we can offer more programming, but at this time, there are 3 students. With any child that's on a waiting list, I am very vigilant in sharing with families the resources of our area preschools that are available. So I share out all of the community preschool information and their contacts, along with Head Start information as well. And we also share ECFE information, because if they can't get into preschool, ECFE is always available. And so that gives another opportunity to have students come in, get comfortable with the environment, but an adult needs to attend the class with them. We offer those programs in the evening and during the day, so we're trying again take barriers away for families that maybe work during the day.
Just another question on the only 3 on the waiting list. It seems like 3, we're limiting 3 to come in because of space. I don't understand. Is it space or staff for the kids in a space or what?
Well, our requirements is we can have no more than 20 students in a classroom. And what we look at is best practices is no more than 18 in a classroom. 18 4-year-olds is a lot and very demanding when we have a very high percentage of early childhood special ed students in every room. Because we are the only site here that serves the majority of our special education students, that has to be a factor in determining those classroom spots.
Thank you for that explanation.
You bet. If we had class,
The limit, though, by state reg is no more than 20.
yes, yep. They have a 1 to 10 ratio, so there has to be 1 adult to every 10 students as well. And another barrier, I'm not going to say barrier, because we have really made some amazing things happen. But if we had classroom bathrooms in each preschool room, that would definitely make a difference too. We spend a lot of time, I say we, I'm going to be honest, it's my staff, spend a lot of time taking kids to the bathroom. Not everybody's potty trained. We're one of the only area programs that will accept kids that aren't potty trained to come to preschool. And I'm going to answer why, in case you're thinking that. Because I don't feel that anyone should be penalized because they aren't prepared in that area. Everybody deserves that opportunity, and we have a lot of caring, helping hands that are willing to help with changing kiddos. Good questions. I love that. Keep them coming. So next I want to just share a little bit at numbers. So as we look over to the left here or right, you'll notice that 2013-14 we were serving 84 students, and that's 3 and 4-year-olds. We jumped to 18-19, we're now serving 162. Pretty much doubled. And this is just in 3 and 4-year-old preschool. We serve over 100 kids in ECFE as well. We screen about 250 a year. So we're getting tons of children through the doors. We're trying to start and build relationships with families, and that family involvement piece hopefully is going to last for many years to come.
Question, have you found young families moving here because of this opportunity?
I have found that there are families that aren't going to other districts because of this opportunity. We have some families that would like to open enroll, and at this time, because of our wait list, we don't have adequate space to meet all of that. Mm-hmm. Next, I just wanted to share with you a couple testimonials. One from a voluntary pre-K teacher, Jill Schwartz, who has worked numerous years in the district. And she had to share, "I have seen many students acquire new academic skills at a faster rate than I did in the past. I'm able to teach, practice, and review skills in a shorter amount of time. I love the fact that I have more time in the week to teach the importance of social skills and how to be kind and play with kids. My goal is to have all my students ready for kindergarten, and VPK is helping me do that. Karen Dolan, who is a parent of one of our students, had shared that voluntary pre-K is given the ability to free up financial barriers for parents. Reducing the financial constraints and having it be free for all gives everyone access to education at a younger age, when their brains are learning and absorbing so much, and integrate into the school setting that is very beneficial for long term. I have to share that 85% of a child's brain is formed in their first 5 years of life. So this is the time that we need to be working with our families and children. I have to give the best shout out to all of the amazing staff that I work with. We have such dedicated and hardworking people that are in our classrooms doing incredible things. And I cannot share enough that the progress that we're making in our program is truly due to the amazing staff. I have 2 of them here today. I want to say thank you. Could not do the work that we do without them. Another item to share is we are part of a classroom engagement model. We are a pilot for the state of Minnesota. We are in year 4 of year 5. Our goal is to have fidelity in every classroom by year 5. And we have some great, amazing things going on there as well. Kind of a common theme to share today. So classroom engagement model, if you've heard me talk about it before, it is really many different facets, but one of the things that sticks out to me as one of the important pieces is that we are having our service providers go into the classroom instead of pull kids out of the classroom. Providing services in their regular education classroom not only gives the teachers the ability to see what would happen typically in a different setting, it gives them the opportunity to see and learn from them, and then to be able to embed it in the child's day. It also gives an opportunity for those service providers and the classroom teacher to collaborate and really do a lot of planning on how do we make the goals progress more quickly, and how can we embed in routines throughout the day. We have what's known as peer coaches, and these are peer coaches. They go every week into the classroom to observe. They talk with the teacher. We build teaming time. The teaming time doesn't happen per week, it is per month, but it is time that we set aside specifically to classroom engagement model. To problems.
From the high school? High school kids? Your coaches are high school kids?
No, actually they are staff, so licensed teachers. So we have 3 of them at this time. It's Jennifer Hansen and Jill Schwartz and Emily Hoffman. So they go in and they support their peers, the other staff in other classrooms, to let them, to kind of help guide them on that fidelity path, to make sure that they're hitting all of those checklist goals so that it's an accountability system.
Kind of a mentoring piece.
It is. And with that, I have to share that we also have a leadership team that's made up of Jackie Boudin, Darcy Love, myself, along with our 3 peer coaches, and we have a paraprofessional coach as well, Julie Clark. And with that, we meet every month to go over the data that comes out of those fidelity checklists and of our benchmarks of quality to, again, make sure that we're on the right path to hit fidelity, and that if there's areas that need to be addressed, we come up with an action plan to get that done. We're doing some really amazing things here in Marshall because of those. We are getting lots of eyes on us, which is great. And I have to share with you, I'm so proud of the staff because we've been asked to be a lead presenters, at the 2019 Classroom Engagement Model Implementation Retreat. That'll happen this spring. And we have area schools coming to tour our program. Pipestone will be coming this week, and they're excited to see how are we getting the results we're getting. And my last slide with some cute pictures of our fantastic preschoolers is really open to, do you have any other questions about voluntary pre-K?
One with regard to the kids who were in last year's program. what are this year's kindergarten teachers saying about those kids who were with you last year?
Great question, Bill. What's great is that Darcy Love has been able to share, and other kindergarten teachers have told the early childhood staff, we know which ones are coming from you. They're prepared, they're ready, and it's great to see. One of our standing places is that we want to make school fun. We want to make this a play-based opportunity. We want this first experience to be the best that it can be. And social skills are the top area for us, is what we're teaching. I know that we always look at academic pieces too, in reading and math, but if you were to ask anyone, including those kindergarten teachers, what is the most important thing to make sure a child is ready for kindergarten, they're going to say the social skills. Make sure they're ready to learn. Any other questions that you have today?
Mindy, are you still coordinating childhood screening?
No, I'm teaching full-time now, so actually Tiffany is in charge of that, along with her many other duties.
You know, this presentation helped the public understand how wonderful it's going to be when we get the primary center, our early childhood programs at Parkside, with reference to a new bond issue, grades 2 through 4 in a new building, because this will allow Parkside truly to be a primary center, through 0 through first grade. It'll be just great connection with you, direct connection with your kindergarten staff.
Yes, and it would be nice to have all of early childhood staff under one building as well. The collaboration will grow.
Well.
I agree.
Please share with your staff that the board's extremely happy with this program, and we're glad to see it succeed. And we're very thankful for their dedication.
Thank you.
Well, it's such a compliment. You got people coming to see you, which means you're doing some things right.
I agree. And it speaks to the staff that I work with. They're doing amazing things. It's hard work and it's a lot of dedication, but it's paying off. And they're seeing the rewards in the classroom too. But all of this would not be possible without the board's support of VPK. If you had not said yes in the beginning, we wouldn't be where we're at today. So I want to thank each and every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tiffany. A couple things I'll add as Tiffany's walking away. She referenced the timeline when VPK was implemented, and those of you that were on the board will remember that. And again, the staff at the start of that process, I think, did an amazing job, including Tiffany, of trying to figure stuff out, because you know, it was the middle of summer, and yeah, we're going to have more kids next year. Which is awesome, but we didn't know how that was going to work and what it was going to look like, and certainly there were hiccups, and we're probably still trying to figure it out, honestly, but I thought everybody really stepped up and did what kids needed, which that's what we're here for, obviously. And you know, going from the 3 classrooms to the 6, obviously we've done that at the expense of some space in the middle school, you know, and again, staff have been very accommodating with that. Just Tiffany shared the numbers, how they've gone up since 2013-14, and in terms of funding, our funding actually went up 92% from, I believe it was 2016-17 to 2017-18, 91.7%. And as our census numbers grow, so in 2017 we had 1,004 children between birth and age 4. 2017-18 we had 1,028, and this year we have 1,077. As those numbers grow, and we still are maybe going to have limited slots, that waiting list and or capture rate, I know Tricia uses that sometimes, that capture rate might be something that we really want to pay attention to, because we're not going to have slots for all of them unless we continue to be creative. So just a little heads up on that, but folks have done a great job.
I can remember when it started too, they left no stone unturned looking for space, because I gave them a tour of our church and our church basement, and it wasn't big enough and would never fit the standards for MDE, but they looked at everything, and I know it was hard, but
It's such an important program. We have to, as a board, see that it succeeds and it is expanded as the population grows. We have to do that.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks, ladies.
Nicely done, thank you.
Can you keep the little kiddos out of the boys' bathroom periodically? It's kind of tough to go in there sometimes.
Board forum, board members, anything you'd like to bring up? Moving on to our discussion items. Anybody have any questions on the second reading of policies 511, 518 through 523?
Just one comment, 511, at the first reading, there was discussion about removing the board step, and that's taken place. So a new fundraiser will not require school board approval. And we are, Trish has done a really nice job with help from administrators of putting together a list of existing fundraisers that hopefully later in February or early in March we can share with you.
Thank you. Moving on to our action items. Our first action item is approval to submit review and comment for the May 14th, 2019 referendum. Motion to approve. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
It's open for discussion.
So this is the document that effectively kicks off the May referendum, if you will. We've done this. You should all be familiar sort of with the contents of the review and comment, but it's odd that this is the first step in the process, or one of the first formal steps in the process. On February 19th, we'll actually ask you to approve a resolution calling for the special election, but the review and comment is due to the Department of Education before the resolution needs to get approved, so we needed to have you take a look at that. It's pretty comprehensive. There are 6 required sections, and they are bolded and underlined. I believe they're on page 2. Another one starts on page 4. Another one on page 5. One on page 9. That's pretty long. Then the 5th one, I believe, starts on page 19. And the 6th one is, the last few pages is more of the required documentation. So this talks about everything from, how we got to this point, what's included in the plan. There's financial information in the review and comment document, specific information at each site. Costs for construction, timelines. I can certainly answer any questions that you might have, but we try to stick to a relatively similar template that we had help on from Pat Overham and ATS&R and our financial advisors at Ellers.
Questions, board? Hearing no questions, we'll vote. It is approved. Our next action item is our roofing bids. Do we have a motion?
I'll move.
I'll second.
Open for discussion.
As discussed before, on January 4th, we had a mandatory pre-bid, which 6 contractors showed up. Out of the 6, 4 submitted bids, and we're recommending the bid be awarded to McDowell Company, who came in with the lowest. We allowed bids for middle school separate as well as Parkside separate or combined. And then along with that, we also offered, instead of having it done in one summer, having it done over 2 summers, in which you can see McDowell gave a discounted price of $187,300 to be able to do it over 2 summers. So we went with the combined bid with the alternative number 2 bid discount. which the total ended up with $1,549,700.
So Dion, that bid amount includes the $187,300?
Correct, it's the
Okay.
$1,737,000 minus the,
Yep, that's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure. Thanks.
Very good. Questions, board?
Is there a risk of having it done over 2 summers versus 1 in terms of, is that common to do it that way?
yeah, actually, so basically they're giving us one project price, but able to do it over 2 summers, so they're allowed more time to do it. Just gives them more time to spread it out, but we get the one project price.
And all of these,
I see, when we started looking at this, we originally had it mapped out to do over multiple years
Sure.
and chose to do it all at once, hopefully to save some money.
The cost savings for setup.
all of these companies have longevity in
Yes.
terms of.
Yep. In fact, there's a recommendation letter from Tremco. They've worked with this company before, interviewed them actually after their bid came in.
So we would do one building one summer and the other building the next?
Not necessarily. They'll give us a schedule. We'll share that schedule with the board and administration, but as soon as we have the schedule, we'll let you know. But I'm not sure, but we'll definitely let everybody know so they're prepared.
It's at their option? It's at their option to do over 2?
Correct. Yep.
If they want to do it in 1, they can.
Sure.
Awesome.
Any other questions? We'll call for a vote. Okay, it's approved. Board members, anything else? Thank you. Oh, I thought oh, yeah, I'm sorry. The bifocals don't work sometimes. Okay. We'll move to a closed sessions. Motion to close the meeting.
I'll second.
And any discussion? Hearing none, please vote. I guess we didn't want to go over your evaluation.
Totally good.
Oh, yeah, okay. Meeting's closed.